Hello parents, grandparents, legal guardians. My name is Bill Hegerich, and I am your son or daughter's history teacher here at Meets. A little bit about myself. Right now I actually have a junior in high school as well. He's my second child. He's Brian, and he actually goes to Brick Township. So some of you guys might be familiar with him through, lines and friends of your own kids. I've been teaching here. It's hard to believe. It's my 18th year teaching. And this whole pandemic model teaching is completely new, right, for all of us, right, as a peer with you guys, as a teacher, and also as a parent. So navigating it has been tremendously overwhelming, but we'll get through this together. Let's begin and let's go through my syllabus. Okay, so if you're familiar with U.S. History 1, you probably know that it picks up in ancient American history, and we're going to take it really up to the beginning of the 20th century. But that's the history part. So let's go back and let's just talk about a little bit of my teaching philosophy. So I believe, if you recall, if we met, I mentioned this to you freshman year. I believe teaching is a partnership, and I think during this pandemic, that's going to go, it's going to have a lot of mileage, right? So it's a partnership between your son or daughter, myself, and the last part of this puzzle would be you, of course. So I am certainly open to all of you joining my Google Classroom as a parent, and I definitely encourage that. You can do that actually by just sending a message to me through this email, bhegerich@ocbts.org. Please do it. We're in this together, and you can see exactly what's expected of them every day, right? So feel free to do that. So also with that goes hand in hand with my teaching philosophy is this idea of like, why teach history? So for me, why teach history? Well, for me, I believe that history can be used as a tool, right? Other than that, like, what's the point, right? It's like when we were young and we would have math class, and oftentimes, we'd hear that, that phrase, "Oh, you'll never use this math," right? And honestly, maybe that's true in some cases. But I believe learning history can be useful because it can be something we can use all of the time, every day, especially with critical thinking and some of our honing our critical thinking skills. So yeah, history can be a tremendous asset. I would also hope that students leave here with a little bit more empathy for the human condition, for each other, as local citizens, U.S. citizens, and global citizens. I think that's important, and I would hope that they walk away with a better sense of themselves and just with a greater responsibility and a greater appreciation for human dignity. Let's jump in. Let's jump into the syllabus. So moving along in our syllabus, you're going to notice our virtual learning plan. This was sent to our students, and probably the biggest factor here is just we have to have an approach of pragmatism because things are going to change, on the fly very quickly. But in the end, I want you to know, it's one of the last lines on here, that, your students are in good hands, not just with myself, but with my peers and my administration here at the school. If you need anything at all, right, please reach out to any one of us, right, and we'll get you the help that you need, or your son or your daughter. All right. Components of our course, obviously it's not just lecture based. Even in this pandemic situation that we're in, I want you to know that this is as much as I can make it, a tangible course. So there is going to be a lot of different factors, right? There's going to be different hands-on activities that we do, art when I can include it, I have a 3D printer that we can actually work on formatting some different models, some historical models for the 3D printer. The class trip is permanently put on hold. But regardless from that, there's a research component that we're going to be talking about briefly in a little bit. So it is a dynamic course. It's a hands-on course. If you take a look at our grading system, tests have been modified, right? They're not worth as much as they had been worth previously. They're at 30%. So, we are combating the 30% assessment with 20% activity grades, which that we're doing daily, if not daily, every other day. Writing assignments and reading assignments, right? Both of those are worth 25% apiece. There's also a Capstone Project. I referenced it about a minute ago, and we'll go into a little bit more detail on the Capstone Project in a second. This is also available to you on the Google Classroom, so if you would like to read a little bit more of this document without pausing it, just send me that email and I will add you as a parent, where you'll have access to all of this. All right. If there's anything in class where you feel your child may not do well, if there are some sensitive subjects, please let me know, and I'll make sure that if we're going to watch a film or have a conversation about whatever it is that you have concern about, let me know beforehand, and we will figure that out. It will be no problem whatsoever. So, this research capstone project, what's up with that, and what am I expecting them to do? Well, I had mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that history should be used as a tool. And with the Capstone Project, it really begs, that very thing, right? It takes something where it takes an issue in history or a piece of far history, and it connects it with an issue today. And they connect the history with some larger issue that's going on today, and they do an entire research project on that. It's a way to start thinking of history as a tool and to start thinking as critical thinkers, right? With our modern times while using history. So let's jump into that just a little bit, all right? The goals of the Capstone Project are right on here. And mainly our goals, like what do we want them to achieve when they're through this? I want your student to have a stronger arsenal as far as media literacy is concerned. I want to sharpen their critical thinking skills. I want to help them evaluate and selecting primary and secondary sources. And again, I want to connect those deep historical issues of the past to major geopolitical events and issues that are happening today. We're also going to strengthen some digital literacy because they're going to have to create a website and to create some cyber exhibits. What I mean by that is they'll have a chance to create a documentary as well in the second marking period. So for this project, each stage is actually broken down into focused topics here, right? So if you take a look, for example, at stage 1, which is due Wednesday night, they have to select a topic where we'll refine their topic and create a thesis on that. Stage 2, research gathering. And it goes on until you get to stage 6, which is their submission of a paper. Stage 6 will be graded in part as part of their as part of their midterm exam. Okay? Stage 7, 8, 9, and 10 will be graded in part as part of their final exam. So their final exam won't just be a test that they have to create. This project will be infused in that. Okay, my expectations are there as well. They are expected, whether they are in my class or they're at home with you, to work for about 20 minutes a day on this particular component. If they're in class and they want to bring in some of their research to read, they can certainly do that during the 20-minute block that they have set aside every day for it. There's some ideas to get them going, but honestly, they don't need these ideas. They've been working very hard on stage 1, which is due tomorrow, and I believe virtually everybody has submitted their topic of focus. And now for a test. Let's see what's all sunken in with you guys. right? So, yeah, you didn't know there was going to be a test at the end, and here we are. But anyway, I like to play games. All right, we're going to go with boom. All right, pay attention now. All right, which is the favorite teen food of the decade? It's the same favorite food during our decade, and if you selected pizza, congratulations, you just got your first question correct. Prediction pain. All right. So while studying all night for chemistry, they bombed a test. What can they do? This is actually, this is the fine print in the syllabus. They can retake the test if they would like to. And they can retake the test up to a 70%. Okay? Bravo! Let's give this one a chance. Can students use their cell phones in class? Well, now more than ever with this pandemic, yes, they can. If they have my permission, and we have some technical issues here, without a doubt, absolutely. They're encouraged to do so. Okay, taking it to Easy Street. What percentage are tests worth of their grade? Any idea? Well, you might remember it is worth 30%. Okay, excellent. I think everybody got 100 so far in my quiz. What will the research project count towards? I hear somebody saying it right now. Ah, you're right. It will be counted as semester exams, in part. Okay, how about breaking a sweat? What will students be working on for 20 minutes daily? I can hear you guys right now, and everybody's saying it's the research project, also called the Capstone Project. Excellent. All right, let's go back home. And maybe let's do one more. How about no problem? You know what? How about you got this? Perfect. What program should they turn their readings into and their assignments? And if you had chosen Google Classroom, you are on top of the world. Congratulations, everybody. Again, my name, bhegerich@gmail.org. Send me an email, ask to be put in as a parent, and you too will join in the fun every day. Take care. I'm with you. I feel your pain, and we'll get through this together.